Hello everybody, NutbarChieftain here, and welcome back for some more Oblivion Remastered. First things first, you'll notice we are not where we left off last video. That's because I made a mistake. I actually recorded nearly an hour clearing out that Oblivion gate with myself and Martin and Joffrey. And it turns out you're not supposed to do that right now. It bugged out. It's actually part of the Allies for Bruma quest, which is part of the main quest that comes a lot later on. So we cleared it all out. You can't collect the sigil stone. You're supposed to get Captain Bird to come help you, and I don't think there's any way of closing it without force closing it with the console, which I don't want to do. So we're back here, but it's okay. It took a bit of problem solving, but I think I've figured it out. So what we're going to instead do, we've got a couple of quests here. I think I'm going to do a Brotherhood trade and start exploring. So I discovered that Braden Lyrian, a resident here in Bruma, was actually a vampire. He was slain by a vampire hunter who has appeared in town named Reynold Drellis. However, the circumstances of this incident sound sketchy at best. I should make my way to the crime scene to investigate Braden's house and investigate. Let's talk to one of the guards if they know where we should go.
Is there a problem, sir?
Maybe.
Yes. The vampire hunter. Apparently, Braden Lyrian was one of those vile creatures. He seemed to be such...
So where's the crime scene? How do we find that?
I'm Surotan. Yes. He seemed to be... Good day.
Well met.
Why is there no map mark for the crime scene? Question I put to you. Well, that looks like the house.
You're going to have to leave. This is a crime scene, and no one other than ourselves or Reynold Drellis will be allowed access.
What about it?
The culprit in this crime has already been dealt with. It's just a matter of wrapping up the details. I'd tell you more, but frankly, I don't know who you are, so I'm not sure that I can trust you with that sort of information.
Alright. So we're going to go in with a bit of...
What a wonderful compliment. Remarkable. Ugh, is that so? Please, I'm embarrassed. What a great story. No, that's just talk. Please, I'm embarrassed, but thank you. Ugh. That's well done. That's just talk. Well done. Get away from me.
Yeah.
Is that so? Really now? You're such a charmer. No, you... I wish I could say that. Get away... Is that so? You should be ashamed. That's just talk. Please, I wish I could say that. Remarkable. You're waste... No, you do me too much honor. No, you're revolt. Is that... Really? You're Oh, please, what a great story. Remarkable. You're revolt. Oh. No, you do me too... That's not bad. I suppose there's no harm in telling you what happened. Word is bound to get around Bruma anyway. Turns out that Braden Lyrian is a vampire. Or was. If it wasn't for Reynold Drellis, we may have never uncovered the truth. Let me explain. In the last week or so, we found 2 bodies stashed in shallow graves outside the city walls. The bodies had puncture wounds on their necks. The bodies were those of some beggars who used to wander the streets looking for handouts. Vampire probably thought no one would miss them. Luckily for us, Reynold arrived in town. He said he was a vampire hunter, so we asked for his help. He tracked the vampire to this house. When he entered the place around noon, Braden was sleeping. He was able to slay him at that point. Luckily, Braden's wife wasn't home. Poor thing. She didn't even know her husband was infected. We did a follow-up investigation, and it's true that no one recollects seeing Braden out in the daylight. He's only been spotted at night. I'm afraid there's not much more to tell you. So you can see we really don't need any help. But thanks for the offer.
Sounds a bit fishy to me. So to what, Brayden Lyrian?
As far as I know, he was a good man. I never saw this coming. But vampires are masters of deception, so I guess it makes sense. I'm impressed. It only took him a day to track the vampire down. I guess that's why he does it for a living.
You don't think anything's fishy about that, then, no?
Feel free to question anyone in town. I shouldn't give...
I've spoken to Carius Renalius, an investigator of the Rumor City Watch. At the crime scene, he says that Reynold slipped into the house undetected and killed the vampire in sleep around noon. The wife wasn't home as she works during the day. Also, the body of an unidentified beggar has been found stashed in Braden's house. I should investigate Braden's wife if I want to investigate further.
Too much trouble.
Alright. Okay. Well, let's do a little save here. Right.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. He looks very dead. Okay. Gotcha.
I don't know.
I can't believe this is happening. Please, please, I need your help. My husband was no vampire. It's ridiculous. No one will listen to me.
Please calm down. I want to help.
Forgive me. I loved my husband dearly, and to lose him this way makes no sense. Anything you can do to help would be wonderful. This is all happening so fast.
Tell me what happened.
I came home only just a few hours ago. I found the door open, and my Brayden dead. Standing over him was a Dunmer. I screamed and ran out into the street. Some city watch were nearby and heard me, I suppose, as they arrived quickly. I heard the Dunmer identify himself as Reynold Draelus. He said he was a vampire hunter and that Brayden was his mark. The guards seemed to know about Reynold, and after a search of the house, the body of some beggar was found stashed in our basement. The guards sent for Carius, who is an investigator for crimes here in Bruma. In minutes, Reynold convinced Carius that Brayden was a vampire.
Really? The evidence does look bad for Brayden, though.
Well, of course it does. It was obviously planted here. Why would he stash a body in his own house? That's ridiculous. And another thing, the guards are making a big deal out of no one seeing Brayden out in the daylight. Well, of course that's the case. He works at night and has to sleep during the day. Why does that make him a vampire? It's all that Reynold character. I don't trust him. The thing that bothers me the most is that I swear I've seen him before. Of course, he says he's never been here. There isn't much more to say. Please.
What?
I have no idea where he'd be. Just find him and... Frostcrag's spire has been uninhabited for so long.
What else to tell
I
you?
sound desperate, but
All right.
I know
Cool.
I'm right.
All right. So Brayden's wife Erlene told me her husband is innocent. She says that he simply works at night and sleeps during the day. We slept, he's dead now. She also suspects that someone may have planted the body. She seemed to cast a suspicious light on Reynold, whom she says she recognised. I think I should locate Reynold and ask him some questions as well. I should start with some of the versions and he keeps in town. Right, let's do that then. We go. There's an inn just here, isn't there? We drop in. That's gonna hurt. Yeah. Tavern Tax. Good name for a bar.
How goes it? What can I do?
Brayden Lyrian.
I know I may be out of line by saying this, but I think the city guards may be wrong. It's hard to imagine Brayden was a vampire. I could have sworn I saw him outside in the daylight before. When I heard Reynold killed him, I didn't know what to think.
Interesting.
I usually don't give out that kind of information. Go ahead. Sure, that's... Was that... Yes, yes, whatever you say. I doubt you really mean... Don't. You're a big fat liar. Blah, blah. I doubt... Don't. Good one. I'm not buying... You're a big... Not bad. Yes, yes, whatever you say. Blah, blah, blah. What... I doubt... Whatever you want. Good one. You're pathetic. Whatever... That's a bit excessive, don't you think? Whatever you want. Yeah, you're a... I doubt you really mean that. Sure, that... Blah... I doubt... I accept. You're good. I usually don't give up. Take your time. Now that'll get you something. Every little bit helps. Raynhild's staying in the last... I always liked Brayden and Arlene.
Yeah.
They were a nice couple. I hope you get to the bottom of this, because I don't believe he was...
Interesting. Brother betrayed. I've entered Reynolds' room. I should be careful to... I should carefully search the place for anything suspicious. I mean, nothing seems out of the ordinary.
Well met. Olga sure can tell a good story. I'm not normally a
Gillibon's
big...
journal. The Brotherhood betrayed. I've discovered a small journal in Reynolds' room at the inn. It seems he was part of a group of adventurers who uncovered an artifact of some sort from some alien ruins. They all agreed to stash the artifact in a cave until more research could be done about it. Each of them took a key to the chest it was secured in. The two other members of the group were Brayden and someone named Gillibon. I need to find out more about Gillibon to confirm my suspicions about Reynald. Olive may be able to help. The 8th day has passed and still there's no sign of the artifact. We covered most of the remainder of the outer guard tower and scoured the crumbled gatehouse ruins, but not one clue has arisen as to where it may have been buried. It's quiet here, as if the ruins were paying respect to the alien. We disappeared here long ago. We haven't encountered anything hostile, but if we do, I think we're ready. The Brotherhood's been in worse scrapes before, and Brayden paid good money for the information as to our treasure's whereabouts, and I hope it doesn't turn out to be yet another fiasco. This morning our camp was set upon by some bandits who were protecting what they claimed was their territory. Considering that we were outnumbered 3 to 1, we did very well. Aha, only Reynolds suffered a small wound, but that was easily healed by a potion Brayden had thoughtfully brought with him for expedition. After getting rid of the bandits' corpses, we set out to tackle the largest part of the ruin, the remains of the great keep. 2 of the walls of the once mighty structure were collapsed, scattered telltale whitish rock. So typical of the alien architecture in this part of Tamriel. This made our assault of the ruin difficult, as many of the larger chunks of the wall were far too heavy for us to move. Brayden suggested that we search the centre of the building's foundation for any underground entrances, which was typical of this type of keep. His guess was paid off, and after several hours of back-breaking work, we managed to clear an opening just large enough for us to squeeze through and enter an ancient stairwell leading down to the ground. We decided to wait until the morning's light and begin our descent to the depths of the ruin. After a restless sleep, all of us were quite excited at the prospect of what would lie ahead. Eagerly, we dipped our torches into a fresh container of pitch. We lit them and into the inky blackness of the stairwell. The stale air was choked with dust and fine grit, a sign that no one had entered this portion of the ruins in a very long time. We became excited, as that meant no other tomb robbers had gotten here before us. The stairwell eventually levelled out to a corridor of sorts that snaked its way north. As we carefully walked along, I scanned the floor and the walls very carefully for any type of triggers, tripwires or pressure plates. Such was my speciality. The alien were well known for their cunning traps, that's true. Protecting the tombs, and I wasn't taking any chances. Brayden, the scholar of the Brotherhood, was getting more and more excited as we traversed the passage. He was translating the wall coverings. I was becoming certain that we'd finally found the true location of the prize. After walking for several more minutes, we were overjoyed to see what we were hoping to see. The hallway ended at a metal door with the carving of a spider upon it. Now came the true test of Braden's information. The door supposedly had a puzzled lock. By pulling the spider's legs in a certain combination, it would unlatch. The wrong combination would spell out deaths, perhaps triggering a collapse of the hallway or some equally deadly trap. With a shaky hand, I put the legs one by one, in the order I had memorized. The sixth one, then the first, and the second one, and the eighth, and finally, the first one again. I closed my eyes as there were a few loud clicks, and then the door popped open. We all breathed a sigh of relief. Pushing up the door, I looked in at the huge room with a pedestal at the centre. Sitting on the pedestal, illuminated by the shaft of sunlight from a tiny hole in the ceiling, was our prize. The floor was covered in a huge mosaic of a stylish spider, and all of its 8 legs coming out of the point ending of the floor entrance. This was the last of the traps they had left behind to protect their treasure. Again, if it hadn't been for Braden's skill at acquiring information, we may never have known how to solve this last line of defense. I instructed Braden and Reniel to remain at the entrance and tie the rope around my waist in case of a sudden pitfall. Carefully, I began to walk on the darkened tiles that formed a third leg of the spider. Sweat beating on my forehead as the pathway made with a tiny piece of ceramic was very narrow at the start, and one slip would again mean instant death. But death never arrived. The information had been correct, and I was able to make it to the pedestal and secure the artifact quickly. As quickly as possible, we made our way back into the daylight. I'm going to cough. Fuck. Once again, the Brotherhood was triumphant, and it was time to return home. At the tavern that night, we decided to make a pact. We would stash the artifact in a cave not far from Bruma until we researched it further. An item of its magnitude could be very dangerous if mishandled, and we certainly didn't want to sell it without understanding its true value. Braden agreed to contract the local cooper to construct a chest with 3 locks. Each of us would hold a key to one of the locks, so none of us would access the artifact without others being present. For the rest of the evening, we drank merrily and sang a merry song of adventures. But okay.
Phantom. She can spin a yarn. That's for see you. You too.
I want to save here. Okay. So, well, sorry, Martin. Let's press on. So who do we need to speak to next? God, excuse me. I just paused recording to have some lunch, and I'm full of pesto, and I feel like a happy boy. Anyway, so a Brotherhood betrayed. So I discovered a small journal in Reynolds' room, and in it seems it was part of a group of adventurers who uncovered an artifact of some sort in the early ruins. So we need to find Olav.
Ooh. Hello. What can I do for you to...
Gilliborn.
Gilliborn? That's odd that you should mention that name. Reynald told me that he was the last vampire he hunted.
Did he now?
Yeah, that's right. Somewhere in Skingrad, I believe. He said he tracked Gelborn down and killed him. That's apparently why the guards trust him so readily. They had gotten word from Skingrad's City Watch about Reynil and his so-called accomplishment.
Yeah. Sounds suspect as fuck, doesn't it?
And nothing else I can...
Alright,
Just
cool.
look for me if you need anything else.
I will do, my friend. Thank you so much for your help. The innkeeper Olav told me that Gilliborn was slain in Skingrad by none other than Reynil. As with Bradon, Reynil claimed Gilliborn was a vampire. I think Reynil is using a vampire as a cover story to get the keys to the chest where they stashed the artifact. No shit. I think it's time to speak to Carius Aurelius about Reynil. He must be stopped. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, motherfucker. Where is this guy? He's still investigating the house. Have they accomplished nothing in all that time? I had my lunch. They've just done nothing.
So, any new revelations in your, investigation?
You sound drunk, my friend.
How'd you know about that? Too many people don't know how to keep quiet about official matters.
Including you, mate.
Very well. The Skingrad City Watch informed us that Gilliborn was killed by Reynil not too long ago. Gilliborn was a vampire as well, obviously.
I disagree.
What do you mean you disagree? That's a bold statement. What proof do you have that Gilliborn was not a vampire?
What proof do you have that he was?
I I don't know what to say. It all makes perfect sense now. Why else would Raynor have removed this journal from the crime scene in Skingrad? I heard no mention of a key either. It must have been removed by Raynor from Braden's body before we arrived. To think that 2 innocent men were killed, and that I'm responsible for one of their deaths, I'm speechless.
You didn't
I
cause
will
his
rouse
death,
the
though.
guard and begin a search for him in the city. Meet me at Olav's Tap and Tack in 1 hour.
All right. To be fair, you didn't cause his death, though. At all. But just to be clear, you're just investigating the crime. Right, let's go.
Good evening.
So we give it an hour, yeah?
Just before I arrived here, I received a report from one of our scouts watching the roads. Raynor was spotted heading west out of Bruma. The scout tried to follow, but lost him in the mountains. The only cave to the west that comes close to the one described in Galaborn's journal is Boreal Stone Cave. That must be where he's headed. You must get there before he acquires whatever artifact is being kept there and makes his escape. I'm keeping the city guard in Bruma, as Raynor doesn't know we're after him. If he sees a guard, he may panic and run. You're my only hope at the moment. Please, you have my authorization to do everything you can to bring him to justice.
Thank
If
you,
you
sir.
won't surrender, I think you know what to do.
I do.
Hurry. I fear you have a day at the most to stop him.
All
Please
right.
hurry. Raynor may make a break for the open.
So Gary's told me that Raynor was seen leaving Bruma and heading west. According to the journal, the cave with the artifact stashes that direction. Carius mentioned that the only cave in the direction is the matches the general description is the Boreal Stone Cave. Carius also feels that I've only one day before. Yeah, gotcha.
Road at any moment.
You have really piercing blue eyes. Okay. Well, let's do a hard save then in that case. Let's go. Okay. No, this is not where I want to be. We go through the gate, don't we? Yes, we do. That's the castle. Is the gate by the entrance? Or is this a question of all roads lead to the castle? It looks that way, doesn't it? Bruma North Gate. Well, it should be theoretically this round. If we follow this side round, we should get that, shouldn't we? Yeah. Another hard save here, just in case. I do not trust this game at all in the outside world. Not gonna lie to you. Let's just try and make a straight run. That looks like him. He's beyond dead. He. Right. Yeah, she's dead. Alright. Capstone Cave. That's not the one we're headed to, is it? Nope.
You have my ear, citizen.
Thanks.
A little closer. Take that!
Sorry, Matt. Sorry, Geoffrey. Is she wearing chainmail? Is that no one on map? Yes, it is. All right. We can come back and explore this later, I think. So we get it before the game crashes, please. Please don't hold me up. Never there, damn it. Where's the entrance? There. Right. Brother betrayed. I've arrived at Burial Stone Cave. Yeah. Let's got that up a bit and do a hard save. Okay. Go team. I just realised we are not far from level up, right? Yeah.
Congratulations. I had a feeling you would catch on sooner or later. Leaving that journal behind was a stupid mistake on my part. I saw you enter Olav's tap and tack before I could get there, and I knew that I had to sneak out of Bruma somehow. It was only a matter of time before you or Carius figured it out. No matter. After I've killed you, I won't need my vampire hunter ruse any longer.
You will not surrender then?
Certainly not. I'm surprised Carius didn't send the entire city watch up here. But then I would have seen that coming, I suppose. I expected to lay low here for a while and then be on my way. So again, I underestimated you. This leaves me with little choice. Either I fight you now and have a chance at freedom, or I surrender and rot in a city dungeon. I prefer the chance for freedom.
This is your last chance, buddy.
Yes, I suppose it is. Well then, we've talked enough. Only one of us will walk out of here alive this day. Good luck.
Alright. Ow.
A little closer.
Why don't you die?
Long burn the dragon fires.
That was easy. Need a glass claymore. Oh my god! Why does glass weapon weigh so much? Mithril boots. Oh. We might be saving that for a rainy day. Blunder's almost a 50. Brotherhood betrayed. Opening the waterlogged chest with all 3 keys, I discovered the artifact to be an amulet. It seems fairly unremarkable, and I'm unsure of its function. I think I should bring it back to Eileen Lyrian and see what she wants me to do with it. Is there nothing else in here? loot all this. He died really easily. I know we've got the two boys with us, but I feel like we're starting to come together. This build is starting to work. You know, money-wise, yeah, we're starting to really pull together. Right, there's nothing else in here. Okay, cool. Well. Well, let's put a hard save in here. Let's go. So I think we'll fast travel straight back where we need to go. I'll come back and clear that cave out after, possibly. Probably the way to handle this mess. So let's jump to Castle Bruma. I don't want to go there yet. I want to clear out this. There were some other caves in and around. I wouldn't mind exploring, but again, whenever we explore the overworld, it's a risky endeavor. To be honest. Right.
Yes?
Let's see if we can't upgrade all of our shit. Well, upgrade, I mean repair, obviously. Let's pump out some more. In here.
What news do you bring?
Gillabon.
Yes. I remember Brayden mentioning that name once. He was part of the Brotherhood he had created with Raynil. I knew I recognized Raynil. I think when I first met Brayden many years ago, he introduced me to him. They were part of some sort of brotherhood. They would roam Cyrodiil in search of legendary treasures and the like. The only reason he stopped doing that is because we got married and he wanted to settle down. I'm afraid thanks to Raynil, that time is lost.
Yeah. So the Mundane Amulet.
Long ago, I made a promise to Brayden. I promised to never reveal to anyone what I'm about to reveal to you now. However, because you've avenged his unjust death, I feel that Brayden would understand why I'm breaking that pact.
Yeah.
Brayden told me about this amulet when they first brought it home from whatever distant land it came from. He never really trusted anyone else in the group, and before he secured the treasure in that cave, he had a special enchantment placed upon it. The magic masks the true identity of the item. All it takes is a simple command word, and the amulet would be restored to its true state.
Did the word die with Brayden?
No. He always feared this day would come. He left me knowledge of that word in the event that he died, and I came into possession of the keys. If the other members of Brayden's group were still alive, and I on my deathbed, only then would I pass the knowledge on to them. If you'd give me that amulet, I would like to show you what you've recovered. Thank you.
Sweet.
I will now speak the word Brotherhood. Here is the amulet back. It's as beautiful as it was the day I remember seeing it long ago. I want you to keep it, as I have no use for this anymore. I'm certain that's what I want, and I'm certain that's what Brayden would want.
Yeah.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope that the amulet helps keep you safe on whatever roads you may travel.
Fletcher of Lithness, thank you so much.
I'm glad he's dead. I know that's a horrible thing to say, but I think you understand.
Oh, I do. Having met the man, he was definitely a prick. Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Justice has been done.
Yes, let's have a look at what we want, though. Let me see what we got. Yes. Oh, yes. don't know if it's going to beat the Amulet of Reflection. Now we've got Amulet of Reflection, Absorption, we've got Electric Lithos, 45 speed on self. I mean, that was somewhat underwhelming. Three people died for this. It was worth 1,000 gold though. That's crazy. Anyhow, we also have a glass claymore, mithril armor, which is all light armor, isn't it? Which we have no use for. Our light armor skill is terrible. Still, wasn't a bad little adventure, was it? Let's help a lady out. Grieving widow, avenge the death of her husband. Not bad. Do we want to clear that out before we come back? Or should we just make this video done and make a nice short sweet video? Oh, it's starting to look badass though. Yeah, maybe we do that. How much does it carry away? We still can carry so much stuff now. Okay, let's put a quick save, hard save in there. Sorry, OBS crashed while I was trying to do things. So, well, thankfully the game didn't crash, so we didn't lose anything. But that's frustrating. Anyway, let's jump in the chapel. I want to have a quick look before we end the video. I've got a funny feeling. There's a quest here. I'm not 100% certain.
Praise Akatosh. Praise the Nine. I'm Arentus Falvius, Primate of Talos, High Priest of Bruma Chapel.
Primate of the Monkey of Talos, right?
Pay attention, and you can learn a lot.
It trains conjuration. That's expensive. No, you're good. Thanks. All afflictions are banished. Nice. Oh, we've got to do the pilgrimage. I've got to find all those shrines. It's a risky proposition, though.
Go ahead, please.
Oh, we just spoke.
Justice has been done.
It has. Okay.
The Nine welcome you to Bruma. I'm Isa Raymond, Priestess of Talos.
Thanks, lovely dress you got there. You...
Can I interest you in some of my wares?
She's got cure disease. Cure paralysis. You know what? I can't buy that. These two I can. Skill level's too low to use that. But I could buy it so we can use it when the time comes, right? That's cost a bit. Yeah.
Thank you for your patronage.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're a legend. Alright. Cure disease spells save us having to carry around potions. Is this the Edabal 6 pages, Jesus. Editor's note, yeah, the Adabal is traditionally believed to be the memoirs of Moraeus, the consort to Elysia, the slave queen. While this cannot be historically verified, the Adabal A is certainly among the oldest written accounts to come to us from the early First Era. Pleniel's death. And in the blood-flawed throne of the white gold, the severed head of Pleniel spoke to the winged bull Moraeus, demigod lover of Alesh, saying, "Our enemies have undone me, spread my body into hiding. In mockery of divine purpose, the aliens have cut me into eighths, for they are obsessed with this number. And Marius, confused, snorted through his ring, saying, "Your crusades went beyond our counsel, Whitestrake. But I'm a bull, and therefore reckless in my wit. I think I would go and gore our prisoners if you had left any alive. Your blood made glorious, uncle, and will come again as fox and all light. Sirod is still ours." And then Pleniel spoke again for the last time. "Beware, Marius, beware. With the foresight of death, I know now that my foe yet lives. Bitter knowledge to take me to my grave. Better that I had died believing myself. Better that I had died believing myself the victor. Although cast beyond the doors of night, he will return. Be vigilant. I can no longer shield the host of men from Morel's retribution." Oh, this is part of the Knights of the Night quest, isn't it, if I remember? Alessia's youth during the slave years. Perif's original tribe is unknown, but she grew up in Sard, upon Sardavar Lead, where the Eliads herded men from across all Niben, Kothri, Nidel, Alkaman. I can't read that. It's beyond my knowledge. Those were later known to be imported from the north. Keptu, Menaji, eventually destroyed when the Flower King Nilishi made great sacrifice to insect god named Lost. Alhed, men of Ket, others, but this was Sirod, the heart of the imperative Saliash, where men knew no freedom, even to keep a family or choice of name except in secret, and so to the alien masters all these designs were irrelevant. Men were given over to the lifting of stones and the draining of fields, and the upkeep of temple and road were to become art torches for strange pleasures, such as we have Hellraiser, as in the wailing wheels of Vidazzle and the gut gardens of Susan, and flesh sculpture, which was everywhere among the slaves of the Eliads in those days or worse. The realms of the Fire King had Hul, where the begetting of drugs drawn from the mixture of Daedrins into living hosts let one inhale new visions of torment, and children were set aflame. Nighttime tiger sport. Jesus Christ. Marius explains Alessia's names. Then Marius said to them, "In your tales you have many names for her. Alesh, given to her in awe. They were translated, translated like redundancy. The high, from which came the more familiar corruptions Alashut, Esha, Alessia. You know her as Paravant, given to her when crowned first of its kind, by which the gods meant a mortal worthy of the majesty that is killing quest healing, which is also Paravel, Pavesh, Perithu, Perif, and in my case, for it's what I call her when we were lovers, Paravania. Well, thickens. Though she has gone to me, she remains bathed in stars, first Empress Lady of Heaven, Queen at Sirod, and they consider themselves full answered and departed. I can take that, right? Yeah. Shazar and the Divines. Is that that's a skill book, right? No. Do I want to read another 5 pages? Yes, I do. Well, let's roll in the video. Shazar and the Divines by Fossilius Junius, sub-curator of ancient theology and Paleon numerology, Imperial Library. The position Shazar enjoys in Cyrodiilic worship is often misconstrued. He and 1,000 other deities have sizable cults in the Imperial City. Shazar is especially venerated in the Clovian West, though he is called Shor there, as the West Kings are resolutely and religiously Nordic. The haziness of Shazar's relationship to the divine is often called their missing sibling. It begins with Saint Alicia, the so-called slave queen of Cyrodiil, the founder figure of the original Cyrodiilic Empire in the earliest Cyro-Nordic stories of the Heartland. Shazar fought against the Eliads, Heartland High Elves, on mankind's behalf, and then for some unknown reason he vanished from the stage, presumably to help other humans elsewhere. And without his leadership, the Eliads conquer the humans and enslave them. This slavery lasts for generations. The isolated humans eventually begin to venerate the pantheon of their masters, or at least assimilate so much of the high elven religious practices into their native traditions that the two have become indistinguishable. In 1E242, under the leadership of Alessia, her demigod lover, Marius Breath of Kine, and the infamous Pelennial Whitestrake, the Cyrodiilic humans revolt. When Skyrim lends its armies to the slave queen of the south, the revolution succeeds and the Elite hegemonies are quickly overthrown. Shortly hereafter, the White Gold Tower is captured by Alessia's forces and she promptly declares herself the Empress, the first Empress of Cyrodiil. Part of the package meant that she had become known, the High Priest of Akatosh as well. Akatosh was an admirer god, and Alessia's subjects were yet unwilling to renounce their worships of the Elven Pantheon, and she found herself in a very pensive political situation. She needed to keep the Nords as her allies, but they were, at the time, fiercely opposed to the adoration of elven deities. On the other hand, she could not force her subjects to revert back to the Nordic pantheon for fear of another revolution. Therefore, concessions were made, and Empress Alessia instituted a new religion, the Eight Divines, an elegant, well-researched synthesis of both pantheons Nordic and Eldmeri. That's interesting. Shazar, as a result, had to change. He could no longer be the bloodthirsty anti-Eldmer warlord of old. He could not disappear altogether either, or the Nords would have withdrawn their support of her rule. In the end, he became the spirit behind all the human undertaking. Elven, even though this was merely a thinly disguised, watered-down version of Shore, it was good enough for the Nords. As for why Type Septim was not attempted to revitalize Shazar during his wars against the Eldmeri Dominion, we can only speculate that at this time, the memories of the Alessian Order's follies, the Dragon's Break, the War of the Righteousness, and the defeat of the Elnumbria Moors would only damage his campaign for the Imperial Crown. The War of the Righteousness, that sounds like something that sounds like it'd be a great game. Anyway, I think we're going to call this one done. That was a fun quest, wasn't it? I enjoyed that. Bit of story, helped the grieving widow out. Didn't really do much. Got a pretty useless amulet. But we got some mithril armor set, which we can sell or whatever. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.